I was 68 years old the night I learned that some falls are not accidents, and some silences are not consent, but survival strategies written in bruises my daughter tried to hide beneath long sleeves in July. The phone call came at 2:47 in the morning on a Tuesday in August. I'd been awake anyway, staring at the ceiling of my Minnetonka apartment, thinking about the strange conversation I'd had with my daughter Emily 3 days earlier. Her voice had sounded wrong, too bright, like someone performing happiness for an invisible audience. Mrs. Morrison. The voice was female, efficient, clinical. This is Hennepin County Medical Center. Your daughter Emily Harrison was brought to our emergency department. She's asking for you. My heart lurched. What happened? The doctor will explain when you arrive. She's stable. I drove through empty Minneapolis streets in my 12-year-old Honda Civic, the same car I'd driven Emily to dance lessons in, to her wedding 4 years ago. My hands gripped the wheel so hard, my knuckles ached. Emily was 31, married to Derek Harrison, living in a renovated bungalow near Lake Nokomis. On paper, everything was perfect. On paper, my daughter had the life she'd dreamed about. I'd raised Emily alone after my husband Michael died of a heart attack when she was 9. I'd been 37, suddenly a widow with a mortgage and a daughter to raise. I'd worked 2 jobs for 6 years, 70-hour weeks, making sure Emily had everything she needed even when it meant I went without. Piano lessons cost me ramen dinners 4 nights a week. Her college fund came from weekend shifts that left me so exhausted I'd fall asleep sitting up. Her wedding cost me $23,000, every penny of my retirement savings, because I wanted to give her one perfect day. Derek had seemed perfect too. Handsome, polite, successful. He'd proposed at sunset on Lake Harriet, called me ma'am, brought flowers to Sunday dinners. I'd cried at their wedding thinking Emily had found what I'd lost when Michael died. I should have known better. I'd been a paralegal for 26 years, mostly in family law. I'd seen enough restraining orders to recognize the signs, but this was Emily, and Derek was so charming in front of me. The ER was harsh and bright. A nurse directed me to Bay 7. I pulled back the curtain, and the world tilted sideways. Emily sat on the examination table in a hospital gown. Her left eye was swollen shut, purple and grotesque. Her lip was split, crusted with blood. Her right arm was splintered. Bruises covered her shoulders, her collarbone, finger-shaped marks that made my stomach clench, but it was her expression that broke me. She looked at me with her one good eye and I saw fear, not pain, fear. The fear of a trapped animal who knows the predator is still out there. Oh, baby, I whispered. What happened? A doctor walked in before she could answer. Mid-40s, South Asian, kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses, Dr. Rajan Patel, according to his name tag. Mrs. Morrison, I'm glad you're here. Emily has facial contusions, a split lip requiring 4 stitches, suspected orbital fracture, and a fractured ulna. She also has defensive wounds on her arms. Defensive wounds, I repeated. Mom, I fell, Emily said quickly, down the stairs at home, carrying laundry. I just fell. She was looking at me intently, and I saw something in that look. A plea, a warning. Mrs. Harrison, Dr. Patel said gently, when you arrived at our entrance 40 minutes ago, you were barely conscious. Do you remember what you said? Emily went white. I don't remember. I was confused. You said say I fell. You whispered it twice. Say I fell. Please, say I fell. Then you lost consciousness. He looked directly at her. I heard you. The room went silent except for monitors beeping in other bays. I fell, Emily whispered, tears streaming down her bruised face. It was an accident. Where's Derek? I asked suddenly. Emily flinched at her husband's name. Just slightly, but I saw it. Business trip. Chicago. Don't call him Mom, please. He'll worry, and there's nothing he can do from Chicago. I don't want to ruin his trip. Dr. Patel crossed his arms. Mrs. Harrison, your injury pattern is not consistent with a fall downstairs. The bruising on your shoulders shows finger marks. The arm fracture is defensive. What we see when someone blocks a blow suggests multiple impacts. You're wrong, Emily said, but she was shaking. I fell. I just fell. Emily, I said, taking her hand carefully. Please, tell me the truth. You can't help, she whispered. Nobody can help. Just take me home when they're done. Don't tell Derek. Promise me. Dr. Patel asked to speak with me in the hallway. In the corridor, he said without preamble, your daughter is in danger. I've been an emergency physician for 18 years. I see this at least once a month. A woman with inflicted injuries, A story about falling, terror of what happens when she leaves the hospital. Her husband, I said. Derek, you think he did this? I know. And you know too. You saw her flinch when you said his name. I have to file a police report. It's Minnesota law. But whether she cooperates is up to her. What you need to understand is that the most dangerous time is when they try to leave. If she goes home alone with him, statistics say there's a 68% chance the violence escalates. 68%. She needs somewhere safe. Can you be that person for her? I looked back at the curtain, hiding my broken daughter. I thought about the $23,000 I'd spent celebrating her marriage to the man who'd done this. Yes, I can be that person. Good. I'm admitting her overnight. A police officer will come for a statement. She probably stick to her full story, but there'll be a record. Then, you take her somewhere safe, not back to that house. I have a 2-bedroom apartment. She can stay with me. Right now she's terrified. Eventually she'll reach a breaking point. Most victims leave an average of 7 times before they leave for good. Your job is to make sure when she's ready, she has somewhere to go. They admitted Emily gave her pain medication that pulled her under. I stayed in the recliner beside her bed, holding her hand, thinking about the past 4 years. How Derek always sat at the head of my table even though it was my home. How he'd make little comments about Emily's cooking, her appearance, maybe skip dessert, babe. You're looking a little soft. And Emily would laugh, change her shirt, skip the pie I'd made. I'd thought she was accommodating. I hadn't seen she was being controlled. I thought about 18 months ago when Emily showed up at my apartment crying, saying she and Derek had fought. She'd stayed 3 hours, then her phone rang. Derek, she'd looked at it with an expression I couldn't read. Taken a deep breath, answered with forced cheer. Hi honey. Yes, I'm at Mom's. Okay, I'll be home in 20 minutes. She'd left immediately, shoulders hunched like she was bracing for impact. I'd thought she was upset about the fight. Now I wondered if she'd been trying to escape that day. Emily woke around 7 when the day shift nurse came in. She looked confused, then memory returned and her face crumpled. I'm still here. Yes, they want a CT scan of your eye. What time is it? 7:15. Derek's flight lands at 9. If I'm not home when he gets there, Mom, I have to go, right now. You have a fractured arm, and possible orbital fracture. You're not going anywhere. If he comes home and I'm not there, if he finds out I'm in the hospital, She stopped, realizing what she'd almost said. He'll what? But she just started pulling at her for trying to remove it. Please, take me home. I'll say I went to your place after I fell. Please. The nurse stopped her gently. Mrs. Harrison, you can't leave until the doctor clears you. At least 2 more hours. 2 hours, he'll be home in 2. He'll know. Text him, I said. Say you stayed at my place because you weren't feeling well. She dictated the message with her left hand since her right was splinted. Every word carefully chosen. Hey babe, hope your flight is good. Wasn't feeling great last night so I stayed at Mom's. She's taking care of me. We'll be home this afternoon. Love you. We watched the screen. His response came fast. You should have told me what's wrong. More careful words. Just a stomach thing. Nothing serious. Mom made soup. I'll be fine. I'll pick up medicine. What do you need? You're so sweet, but Mom has everything. See you soon. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally. Okay. See you soon. Love you. Emily sagged with relief. He believes it. For now. But what happens when he sees your face? I'll say I fell at your apartment. On your stairs. He'll believe that. He always says your carpeting is worn. I stared at her. She'd been planting explanations for future injuries, living in such constant fear that she'd created a whole system of lies to protect him. The CT scan showed no orbital fracture. Dr. Patel discharged her with pain medication and instructions. I'm deeply concerned about your safety, he told Emily. There are resources, shelters, counseling. I fell downstairs, Emily said mechanically. I don't need resources. In my car, driving back to Minnetonka, Emily was quiet. Finally, she said, I know what you're thinking. But Mom, you don't understand. He'll find me. He tracks my phone. He has access to all my accounts. He knows where everyone I know lives. He's told me 100 times that if I try to leave, he'll find me. And when he does, she stopped. When he does, what? Things will be worse. Much worse. At my apartment, I helped her up the stairs, supporting her weight. Got her settled in the spare bedroom, the room that had been hers growing up. still painted the pale purple she'd chosen at 14. While she slept, I pulled out the pamphlet Dr. Patel had given me. Breaking Free, Domestic Violence Resources in Minnesota. I read every word, learned about the cycle of abuse, learned that victims leave an average of 7 times before leaving permanently, learned that 73% of domestic violence homicides happen during or right after separation. 73%. My daughter was one argument away from being a statistic. I called my supervisor, said I needed to use my vacation time immediately. 87 hours accumulated, almost 11 days. I'd been saving those hours for retirement transition. Instead, I'd use them to keep my daughter alive. Emily woke around 3, disoriented. Derek texted again, twice, being so sweet. She showed me the messages. Hope you're resting. Let me know if you need anything. I love you. What did you say? That I was sleeping. That I'm feeling better? She typed slowly with her left hand. His response came instantly. Of course, babe. That's what husbands are for. I'll be there around 6:30 to see you. Emily started shaking. 6:30. 3 hours. Mom, he's going to see my face. He's going to know. Then we tell him what we planned. You fell on my stairs. You were embarrassed. Didn't want to worry him while traveling. He won't believe it. He will because we'll make him believe it. We spent the next hours preparing. I helped her shower, wrapping her cast in plastic, helped her dress in soft pajamas. We practiced the story until it sounded natural, kept the lights low. Emily took pain medication that made her drowsy and unfocused, enough to explain inconsistencies. At 6:28, footsteps on the stairs. Emily tensed. I opened the door. Derek stood there holding flowers and a pharmacy bag. 35 tall, fit, dark hair styled with too much product, expensive jeans, button-down shirt, the kind of face mothers trust, bright blue eyes that crinkled when he smiled. He was smiling now. Patricia, thank you so much for taking care of Emily. I've been worried. She's in the living room, pretty groggy from medication. He moved past me and I smelled expensive cologne. Went straight to Emily, kneeling beside the couch. Babe, oh babe, look at you. When Emily saw him, her entire body went rigid, subtle, almost imperceptible, but I saw it. Prey in the presence of predator. Hi, she said, voice small. I'm sorry. Sorry for what? You had an accident. He took her hand. I'm just glad you're okay. He looked at her face, cataloging the damage. His expression was perfect concern, but his eyes weren't sympathetic. They were assessing, making sure his work matched the story. Tell me what happened. Emily launched into our practiced story. Came here with stomach issues around 9, got dizzy, tripped on the worn carpet on the 3rd step, tried to catch herself on the railing, hit her face, broke her arm. I heard the crash, took her to the hospital. Derek listened, thumb making circles on her palm. When she finished, he looked at me. Patricia, I've been telling Emily for months that your stair carpet is dangerous. I think it was March when I mentioned it could cause an accident. I didn't remember that, but I played along. I remember. I know you're on a fixed income, and repairs are expensive, but this could have been prevented. Emily could have been killed. I think we need to discuss carpet replacement. I'd be happy to help with the cost. He'd done it smoothly. Taken our fabricated story and turned it into a lecture. Made me feel guilty and responsible. You're right, I said. I'll call someone tomorrow. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, just worried about safety. You're both important to me. He turned back to Emily. Why didn't you call me? Didn't want to worry you. You had important meetings. When you don't call, it makes me feel like you don't trust me, like I'm not your partner. Emily's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm not angry, just hurt. But we'll talk about that later. He smiled. I brought your favorite tea and magazines. You should rest. Patricia, do you mind if I sit with her? You must be exhausted. A dismissal. He wanted me gone. I saw panic flash across Emily's face. Actually, I need to monitor her for concussion signs. Doctor's orders. Check on her every few hours. I can do that. Why don't I take her home? The doctor said 72 hours of supervision. Since you work during the day, she needs to stay here. Derek's smile didn't falter, but something shifted in his eyes. Cold. Patricia, I appreciate everything. But Emily is my wife. I can take time off. She should be in her own house. Doctor's orders were very clear. 72 hours. I'm retired. I have time. Retired. Derek's eyes sharpened. She means vacation time. Emily said quickly. She took vacation days. Right, Mom? Right. Vacation time. Derek's eyes moved between us, calculating. Then his expression smoothed. You're right. I should let you rest. Makes sense. I'll come by tomorrow after
Patricia,
work.
he stood.
Anything you need from home. My laptop, Emily said. Work? You have a concussion and broken arm. Just light stuff. Reviewing mock-ups. Let's see how you feel tomorrow. You need to focus on healing. Not a suggestion, a command. He kissed her forehead carefully. Emily closed her eyes, whole body tense. When he straightened, he turned to me. Can I talk to you in the kitchen? I followed him. He stood near the sink, voice low. I'm concerned about Emily. She seems off. Is that medication or something else? She's been through trauma. Normal to be shaken. Right, an accident. He looked at me directly, and I saw something cold in his eyes, a challenge. Patricia, I need to ask something. Did Emily seem scared when she got here? Say anything about me, about our marriage. This was the test, trying to figure out if we knew, if Emily had told the truth, if I was a threat. She was in pain, mostly
Confused.
just wanted to go to the hospital. Why? No reason. I just worry. She's been stressed lately, about money, career, her future. Sometimes stress makes her not think clearly, make bad decisions, like coming to her mother when sick, bad decisions, like going upstairs when dizzy, like not calling her husband when injured. He stopped himself, smiled. Sorry, I'm being overprotective. I just love her so much. The thought of losing her terrifies me. The words
But underneath
was something else. Ownership, control, warning. She's lucky to have someone who cares, I said, because that's what he wanted to hear. We're lucky to have you too, though I am worried about your financial situation. Emily mentioned you're still working at 68. If you ever need help with bills, please let me know. Your family, a power move. Reminding me he had money and I didn't, that he could help me, that I should be grateful, that I owed him. That's generous, but I'm managing. The carpet replacement, though, could be expensive. Let me take care of it. Least I can do, considering Emily got hurt on your stairs, weaponizing our fabricated story, making me feel responsible, making me indebted. We can discuss it later. One more thing. If Emily says anything strange over the next few days, anything that doesn't make sense, call me immediately. Concussion can cause confusion, memory problems, even hallucinations. If she starts talking about things that didn't happen, that's brain injury talking, not reality. Do you understand? Preemptively discrediting anything Emily might tell me, setting up a narrative where, if she told the truth, I'd dismiss it as concussion-induced confusion. I understand. Good, I'll see you both tomorrow. He went back to the living room, kissed Emily goodbye, told her to rest. She watched him leave with that tensed expression, not relaxing until we heard his car pull away. Her phone buzzed. She read the message, went pale. What does it say? I asked. I love you so much. Get well soon. Sweet dreams. She looked up. He never says sweet dreams. Never. It's a signal, a reminder. He's telling me he'll be in my dreams. That even here, I'm not safe. That night, I couldn't sleep. I researched online for hours, domestic violence statistics, abuser psychology, warning signs, escape strategies, legal options, controlling money, financial forcing abuse partners is often to quit jobs, creating dependency. Derek had done that. I learned that isolation is classic, cutting victims from friends and family. Derek had done that too. I learned that abusers escalate during major life events, pregnancies, job changes, anything shifting power dynamics, and I learned the most dangerous time is right after separation. 73% of domestic violence homicides happen then. The next morning, Derek's texts to Emily started at 6:30. We need to talk. You can't hide forever. I love you and miss you. Please call me. At 8, flowers arrived. 2 dozen red roses. Card to my beautiful wife. I'm sorry for everything. Please come home. All my love. Derek. Emily stared at them like they were poisonous. Love bombing. This is what he always does after hurting me. Flowers, apologies, promises. Then I go back and everything's great for weeks, until it's not. I threw them in the dumpster. At 10, Derek called my phone. I didn't answer. Voicemail. Patricia, I understand you're protecting Emily, but she needs professional help. The concussion has affected her judgment. I've scheduled a neurologist for Monday morning. I'll pick her up at 9. Emily looked panicked. He's trying to make me seem mentally incompetent. If he convinces a doctor the concussion impaired my decision-making, he can get authority over medical decisions. He could have me committed. He can't without cause. He'll create cause. Tell the doctor I'm delusional, paranoid. The doctor will see my injuries and Derek will explain I'm confused about what happened. Next thing, I'm in psych evaluation, and he has total control. I hadn't considered this, the ways an abuser could weaponize medical systems. You're not going to any appointment he schedules. At noon, Derek showed up at my building, didn't come to my door. Went to the building manager's office on the first floor. 20 minutes later, Mrs. Chen knocked on my door. Mrs. Morrison, I'm sorry. A young man came to my office. Your daughter's husband. Said she fell on your stairs. Was seriously injured. He's concerned about liability. Wants to know if we've had complaints about dangerous stairs, building a paper trail, creating documentation that my stairs were hazardous. The stairs are fine. Emily's accident was just that. An accident. He mentioned a lawyer. Possible legal action if the building doesn't address the hazard. I need to document this. May I inspect your apartment? I let her in. She photographed the stairs from every angle, noted the worn carpet. Derek had successfully created an official record. If anything happened to me or Emily, he could point to this documentation. After she left, Emily was quiet for a long time. Finally she said, I need to tell you everything. Every incident, every time he hurt me. All of it. We talked for 3 hours. I filled pages in my notebook, writing everything down. The progression was clear. Criticism became control. Control became intimidation. Intimidation became violence. 4 months into marriage, yogurt incident. He grabbed her wrist, left bruises, because she bought the wrong brand. 6 weeks later, pushed her against the refrigerator during argument about her spending time with friends. 2 months after that, threw a plate against the wall near her head because dinner wasn't ready. Slapping started around month 10. Always where bruises wouldn't show with long sleeves and pants. Always followed by apologies. By end of first year, isolated from most friends, he didn't forbid contact, just made it so unpleasant it was easier not to. If she made plans with Sarah, he'd sulk for days, or pick fights before she left, or show up and insert himself, making everyone uncomfortable. Eventually, Sarah stopped calling. Friends drifted away. Emily was alone with Derek. By year 2, he'd convinced her to quit her part-time job, said he made enough, her income was negligible, better if she focused on the house and being available for him. Serious physical violence started year 3, punching walls next to her head, shoving her hard enough to knock her down, grabbing her throat during arguments, not quite choking but close enough to terrify, each time followed by tearful apologies, promises, romantic gestures. He made me feel like I was the problem, Emily said. Like if I could just be better, try harder, stop pushing his buttons, everything would be fine. He'd say, you know, I hate when you do that, or why do you make me so angry? Like his violence was my fault. That's what they all say. Shifting blame, making you responsible for managing his emotions. It worked. I spent 3 years walking on eggshells, trying to anticipate what would set him off, modifying my behavior. I stopped wearing makeup because he said it meant I was trying to attract other men. Stopped posting on social media because he monitored everything. Stopped expressing opinions because he said I was too emotional and uninformed. I erased myself piece by piece. She was crying now. And even then, it wasn't enough. There was always something, some new rule I'd broken. The job offer was just the latest thing. You know that's not sustainable. Eventually he's going to kill you. Maybe not on purpose. Maybe he'll just hit you wrong. Or maybe one day he'll decide you're more trouble than you're worth. Emily, if you go back, you will not survive. I know. That's why I took the job offer. I thought if I could get financial independence, start an escape fund, I could leave. I'd been planning it for months, applying to jobs, researching apartments, looking up divorce lawyers. That's why he was so angry. He found my search history. He knew I was planning to leave. My blood ran cold. He knows you were trying to leave. That's what the beating was really about. Not the job. The fact that I was planning an exit. He went through my computer while I was in the shower. Found everything. All the apartment listings. Women's shelter websites. Articles about divorce. He was waiting when I came out of the bathroom. Had my laptop open, showing me all the evidence of my betrayal. Jesus, Emily. He said if I ever tried to leave, he'd find me. That there was nowhere I could go, he couldn't track me down. that he'd make sure I regretted it. Then he started hitting me. Kept saying, "You're mine. You'll always be mine. I'll never let you go." I thought he was going to kill me, but then he stopped, looked at what he'd done, got scared. That's when I knew I had to get out. Derek knew Emily wanted to leave, which meant he'd be watching for any sign she was trying again. "We need a plan," I said. "A real plan. Something sustainable." "What kind of plan?" "I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. In the meantime, you're not going back to that house. He's not going to accept that. Then we'll make him accept it." Friday morning, Derek called my cell. "Patricia, it's been 3 days, 72 hours. I'd like to bring Emily home. She's still experiencing significant pain and dizziness. I can take care of her at home. I've arranged to work remotely next week. The orthopedist wants to see her again before she resumes normal activities. We have an appointment Tuesday." Pause. I wasn't aware of any appointment Tuesday. When was this scheduled? Yesterday. I moved her Friday appointment because she wasn't feeling up to it. Without consulting me. Voice changed, harder underneath. "I thought Emily had told you. Emily's been out of it on medication, not making good decisions. That's why I need to manage her care. I'm her husband, and I'm her mother. This has gone on long enough. I'm coming to pick up Emily this evening. Please have her ready." "I don't think that's a good idea medically. I wasn't asking your opinion. I'll be there at 6. If Emily's not ready, we're going to have a problem." He hung up. I woke Emily. "Derek's coming at 6. Wants to take you home." Her good eye went wide. "No, I can't go back. Mom, please, I'm not letting you go. But we need to figure out how to stop him. There's no way to stop him without making things worse. If I refuse, he'll drag me out. If you try to stop him, he'll hurt you too. Let him try. Emily, when he gets here at 6, you're going to tell him you're not ready. Your decision, based on medical advice. He won't accept it. He doesn't have to. You're an adult. If he tries to force you, that's kidnapping." "Mom, he doesn't care about legal. He cares about control. And right now, he's losing it. That makes him dangerous." "Then we call the police." "And say what? That my husband wants to take me home. They'll laugh." She was right. Without evidence, police would see this as domestic disagreement. "Okay, new plan. You're not here when he arrives. Where do I go?" "Sarah, your friend Sarah. Do you still have her number?" "I haven't talked to Sarah in 2 years. But you have her number." "Yes, but call her. Tell her you need help. Tell her everything." Emily stared at her phone. What if she's angry? What if she doesn't want to help? What if she does? Emily made the call. Talked for 20 minutes, crying. When she came out, her face was different, lighter. "She's coming at 5:30. Before Derek arrives." "Mom, I told her everything." She was horrified. Said she knew something was wrong. Had a bad feeling about Derek from the start. "She's been worried about me. She tried calling over the past year, but I never called back. Because Derek monitored your phone." "Yeah, but she didn't know that. Thought I'd decided our friendship wasn't important." She was hurt, but she forgave me. Said she'd been in an abusive relationship in college. Understands how hard it is to leave. She wants to help. Relief flooded through me. Emily had an ally. Sarah arrived at 5:22 in a silver Honda Accord. 30, short blonde hair, glasses, University of Minnesota sweatshirt. When she saw Emily's face, she started crying. Hugged Emily carefully. "We need to go before he gets here," Sarah said. "Patricia, thank you. Can I give you my number?" I programmed it into my phone. "Take care of my daughter. I promise." They left at 5:30. I watched Sarah's car disappear, then went inside and waited. Derek arrived at exactly 6. I watched from the window as he parked, straightened his shirt, checked his reflection, preparing his performance, then walked to the building with confident strides. I opened the door before he knocked. "Patricia, is Emily ready?" "Emily's not here." The smile faltered. "What do you mean?" "She left 30 minutes ago. Staying with a friend." "What friend?" Voice sharp now. "I don't think that's your business." "Not my business. She's my wife." "Which friend?" "Patricia. A friend, from college. Someone she trusts." Derek's jaw clenched. "Sarah." She went to Sarah's. He pulled out his phone. Typed furiously. "This is unacceptable. Emily is supposed to be recovering. She can't just leave. She's an adult. She can go wherever she wants." "No, she can't. Because Emily isn't making rational decisions. Concussion, pain medication. It's affecting her judgment. I'm her husband. I'm responsible. And you're interfering." I'm protecting my daughter.
Patricia,
From what?
What has Emily
From
been
me.
telling you?
The truth. Derek went very still. And what truth is that? That she fell on my stairs. That's the truth, isn't it? He relaxed slightly, though his eyes stayed cold. Yes, that's the truth. Which is why I'm concerned about Emily leaving without telling me. If she's confused, disoriented, she could hurt herself again. I need to know where she is. She's safe. That's all you need to know. Patricia, he stepped closer, invading my space, trying to intimidate. I've been very patient, but this ends now. Tell me where my wife is, or I'll call police and report her missing. She's not missing. She's at a friend's house, won't they? Emily is injured, on narcotic medication, possibly concussed. I'm her husband, concerned. I call police and say she's wandered off in a confused state. They'll take that seriously. Issue a silver alert. When they find her, they'll bring her straight home to me. Is that what you want? Turning the situation around, making himself the concerned husband. Or, Derek continued, voice softening, you could just tell me where she is. I'll go there, talk to her, make sure she's okay. No police, no drama, just a husband checking on his wife. That's reasonable, isn't it? Go home, Derek. Excuse me. Go home. Emily will contact you when she's ready. Until then, leave her alone. His expression shifted. The pleasant mask cracked. Underneath I saw rage, barely contained. You're making a mistake, Patricia. A very serious mistake. I don't know what lies Emily's been feeding you, but she didn't lie. She told me she fell on my stairs. That's what happened. That's what we're all saying, isn't it? The question hung between us. He understood what I was really saying. As long as we stuck to the stairs story, I wasn't accusing him. But if he pushed too hard, made me an enemy, that story might change. Derek stared at me, then smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. You're right, I'm just worried. When she contacts me, please have her call. I love her very much. I'll tell her. He turned to leave, then paused. One more thing. That carpet on your stairs. The dangerous carpet that caused Emily's fall. I really think we should get that fixed before anyone else gets hurt. Before there's another accident. Especially involving you. At your age, a fall could be very serious, even fatal. It wasn't subtle. It was a threat. I'll look into it, I said evenly. You do that. Be careful on those stairs, Patricia. They're treacherous. I locked the door after he left, hands shaking. Called Emily immediately. He was just here, looking for you. I didn't tell him where you are. Did he threaten you? Nothing overt. But yes, he made it clear I should be careful. That my stairs are dangerous. Mom, you need to be careful. I'm serious. If he thinks you're the reason I left, if he blames you, I can handle Derek. No, you can't. Nobody can. Promise me you'll be careful. Lock your doors. Vary your routine. Check your car before getting in. Don't walk alone after dark. Emily, you're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. Because Derek doesn't lose. Well, and right now he's losing control of me, which means he's going to lash out. And you're the easiest target. After we hung up, I stood in my apartment feeling the weight of what we'd done. We'd declared war on Derek Harrison. A man with money, connections, a respectable job. A man who'd successfully hidden his violence for years. A man now highly motivated to punish everyone who'd helped Emily escape. I thought about my worn carpet. Derek's concern for my safety. How easy it would be to stage an accident, push someone downstairs, make it look like they'd trip. I examined my stairs closely, took photos from every angle. The carpet was worn but not dangerously so. Derek had been planting seeds, creating narrative. If something happened to me, if I mysteriously fell and broke my neck, everyone would remember Derek warning me. It would look like an accident. I sent the photos to my email with a message. Derek Harrison expressed concern about my stairs on August 15, 25, documenting current condition in case of future incident. Then I called a legal aid organization specializing in domestic violence, left a voicemail explaining I was trying to help my daughter leave an abusive marriage, needed advice on restraining orders, divorce, safety planning. A woman named Jennifer called back within an hour, an attorney specializing in domestic violence cases. I told her everything. Emily's injuries, the pattern of abuse, Derek's threats. Has your daughter filed a police report? Jennifer asked. No, too scared. She told the hospital she fell. That makes it harder. Without her cooperation, without official record, we can't get a restraining order. We need her willing to tell the truth on record. What if she won't? Then our options are limited, but not non-existent. Is she willing to file for divorce? I don't know. That might be safest. File for divorce. Request temporary protection orders. Ask the court to require Derek stay away during proceedings. Not as strong as restraining order, but something. He'll fight it, of course. But Minnesota is no-fault divorce. She doesn't need to prove abuse, just that the marriage is irretrievably broken. Court will grant it eventually. How long is eventually? 6 months minimum from filing to finalization. Longer if he contests. 6 months. 6 months of Emily living in fear, hiding, looking over her shoulder. 6 months of Derek trying to find her, punish her, force her back. 6 months that might end with Emily's obituary instead of divorce decree. What can we do to keep her safe during those 6 months? Document everything. Keep journal of any contact, threats, harassment. Save all texts and emails. If he shows up where she's staying, call police every time. Build a paper trail. Eventually that becomes evidence for restraining order or harassment charge. But it takes time. We might not have time. Jennifer was quiet. I won't lie to you, Mrs. Morrison. Statistics for women leaving abusive relationships are grim. Most dangerous period is first few months after separation. That's when most domestic violence homicides occur. Your daughter needs to be extremely careful. Stay somewhere he can't easily find. Very routine. Don't go to familiar places. Assume he's watching, tracking, waiting. You're not making me feel better. I'm being honest. I can't promise everything will be fine, but I can promise we'll do everything legally possible. First step is getting her to file for divorce. Can you talk to her about that? I'll try. Call me when you're ready to move forward. In the meantime, be careful. If Derek sees you as obstacle to getting his wife back, you could be in danger too. I spent that evening making lists. Things Emily would need. New phone Derek couldn't track. P.O. box for mail. Separate bank account. Divorce attorney. Documentation for court. Things I would need. More time off work. More money than I had. A plan for what to do if Derek came after me. An updated will making sure my assets went to Emily if something happened to me. I worked until midnight, adding items, crossing things out, reorganizing. Nearly 1 in the morning when my phone rang. Derek's been calling and texting Sarah nonstop for 3 hours, demanding to talk to me, threatening to show up at her apartment. Sarah's scared. I think I need to leave. Find somewhere else, but I don't know where. Come back here. Come home. Derek knows I was there. He'll come back. Let him. I'm not afraid of Derek Harrison. That was a lie. I was terrified, but I was more terrified of the alternative. Emily alone and unprotected, ending up in the newspaper. Another statistic. Are you sure? I'm sure. Come home. We'll figure everything else out together. Sarah brought Emily back at 1:30. They'd taken a circuitous route, making sure they weren't followed. Sarah's eyes were wide with fear, and I realized this was becoming real to her in a way it hadn't been before. Derek's harassment, his persistence, his refusal to accept boundaries. I'm sorry, Emily told Sarah. I'm sorry I brought this into your life. Don't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. He did, Em. I'm not abandoning you again. I did that once, and I regret it every day. Call me if you need anything, day or night. After Sarah left, Emily and I sat in the living room with lights off, watching the parking lot, looking for Derek's black BMW. He didn't come that night, but his presence hung over us like a storm cloud. We need to talk about divorce, I said, around 3 in the morning. Neither of us could sleep. I spoke to a legal aid attorney. She said, filing for divorce with temporary protective orders might be our best option. He'll never agree. He doesn't have to agree. Minnesota is no fault. You just have to file. Emily pulled her knees to her chest, wincing. If I file for divorce, he'll know I'm serious. Right now he thinks this is temporary. That I'm upset but I'll come back. Divorce filing makes it permanent. That's when he'll really lose it. He's already lost it. He beat you so badly you ended up in hospital. That was anger. Reactive. What happens when I file will be calculated, planned. He'll come after me with everything he has. And Mom, he has a lot. Money for expensive lawyers. Connections. Reputation as a good guy. People like him. They'll believe him over me. Not if we have evidence. What evidence? My word against his. Hospital report that says I fell on your stairs. There's nothing. No proof. Nothing that would hold up in court. Then we get proof. Document everything from this point forward. Every contact, every threat, every incident. Build a case. Emily laughed bitterly. It doesn't work like that in real life. In real life, women leave abusive husbands and end up dead 3 months later. In real life, restraining orders are paper that doesn't stop bullets. In real life, the system protects men like Derek because they're respectable and employed and say all the right things in court. So what's your alternative? Go back to him. Wait for him to kill you. No. I'm so tired, Mom. Tired of being afraid. Tired of running. Tired of pretending. Sometimes I think it would be easier to just give up. I grabbed her good hand, held it tight. Don't you dare. Don't you dare give up. We didn't get this far for you to surrender. Emily, you survived. You got out. That's more than a lot of women manage. Now we just have to make sure you stay out. How? I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out, one step at a time. The next morning, Derek's texts started at 6:30. We need to talk. You can't hide forever. I know you're scared, but this is ridiculous. I love you and miss you. Please call me. At 8, flower delivery, 2 dozen red roses, card, to my beautiful wife. I'm sorry for everything. Please come home. Oh, my love, Derek. Emily stared at them like they were snakes. Love bombing. This is what he always does. Flowers, apologies, promises. Then I go back and everything's great for weeks until it's not. I threw them away. At 10, Derek called my phone. I didn't answer. Voicemail. Patricia, I understand you're trying to protect Emily. I respect that. But she needs professional help. The concussion has clearly affected her judgment. I've scheduled an appointment with a neurologist for Monday morning. I'll pick her up at 9. I played it for Emily. She looked panicked. He's trying to make me seem mentally incompetent. If he convinces a doctor the concussion impaired my decision-making, he can get legal authority over medical decisions. Mom, he could have me committed. Say I'm a danger to myself. He can't without cause. He'll create cause. Tell the doctor I'm delusional, paranoid, making wild accusations. Doctor sees my injuries, Derek explains. I'm confused about what happened, that he's worried about brain damage. Next thing, I'm in psych ward and he has total control. I hadn't considered this, the ways an abuser could weaponize medical systems. You're not going to any appointment he schedules. We'll make our own with doctors he doesn't know. He'll find out. He has access to my insurance. He'll see every claim filed. Then we pay cash. Out of pocket. With what money? My savings, Mom. No. You're supposed to retire. Have a life. You are my life. The money doesn't matter. At noon, Derek escalated. Showed up at my building. I saw his BMW pull in, and my stomach dropped. I locked the door, told Emily to stay in the bedroom, watched from the window. Derek didn't come to my door. Went to the building manager's office on first floor. 20 minutes later he came out smiling. 5 minutes later, knock on my door. Mrs. Chen, the building manager, looking apologetic. Mrs. Morrison, I'm sorry to bother you. A young man just came to my office, your daughter's husband. Said she fell on your stairs earlier this week, was seriously injured. He's concerned about liability. Wants to know if we've had other complaints about dangerous stairs, building a paper trail, creating documentation that my stairs were hazardous, setting up narrative. The stairs are fine. Emily's accident was just that. An accident. No liability issue. He mentioned speaking to a lawyer. Said there might be legal action if building doesn't address the safety hazard. I have to take this seriously. I need to document his concerns. And I may need to inspect your apartment, check stairs, take photos for insurance. Of course, when it's now convenient, I let her in. She photographed stairs from every angle, noted worn carpet, documented condition. Derek had successfully created official record that stairs were potentially dangerous. If anything happened to me or Emily, if either of us ended up injured or dead, Derek could point to this and say, I warned everyone. After Mrs. Chen left, I called Jennifer, the legal aid attorney. He's building a case, she said when I explained. Creating documentation, establishing narrative. This is sophisticated. Most abusers aren't this calculated. Derek clearly understands how to manipulate systems. What do we do? Counter-document. Take your own photos, showing stairs are reasonably safe. Get professional inspector if possible. Create your own paper trail, showing that while carpet is worn, it's not a hazard. You're both building competing narratives. His is that stairs are dangerous, and Emily's injuries came from fall. Yours is that stairs are fine and Emily's injuries came from something else. But we're not saying her injuries came from something else. We're sticking to the false story, for now, but you're leaving door open to change that story later, if needed. Documentation you're creating now becomes evidence if you ever decide to tell truth about what really happened. I spent the afternoon photographing stairs, measuring depth and height of each step, documenting that carpet, while old, met building code. I felt ridiculous, like I was playing a game I didn't understand. But Jennifer was right. This was about competing narratives. Derek was writing his story. I needed to write mine. That evening, Derek sent Emily a long text. I read it over her shoulder, felt sick. Emily, I love you more than anything in this world. I know I haven't always shown it the right way. I know I've made mistakes, but I'm asking you to forgive me, to come home, to give us another chance. I've scheduled appointments with a marriage counselor. I've talked to my boss about reducing travel so I can be home more. I'm committed to making this work, but I need you to meet me halfway. I need you to stop listening to people who don't understand our relationship. Your mother means well, but she doesn't know us. She doesn't know what we have together. Please, babe, come home. Let's fix this together. I promise things will be different this time. Things will be different, Emily repeated. That's what he always says. And they are. For about 2 weeks. Then we're right back where we started. You're not responding. No. But he's going to keep pushing. When nice approach doesn't work, he'll try something else. Probably anger, threats, making my life miserable until I give in. Over the next 3 days, Derek's messages evolved. Saturday they were pleading. Sunday, accusatory. By Monday, threatening. You're making a huge mistake. This is going to end badly for both of us. I've been patient, but my patience has limits. You're throwing away our marriage over nothing. When you come crawling back, and you will, don't expect me to welcome you with open arms. Tuesday morning, day of Emily's rescheduled orthopedist appointment, Derek was waiting in the parking lot of the medical building. We didn't see him until we'd parked and were walking toward entrance. He stepped out of his car, blocking our path. Emily, we need to talk. Emily froze. I moved between them. Derek, you need to leave. This doesn't concern you. Patricia, this is between me and my wife. Emily doesn't want to talk to you. Emily can speak for herself, can't you, babe? Or has your mother been doing all your thinking lately? I have nothing to say to you, Emily said quietly. Nothing to say. After 4 years of marriage. After everything I've done for you. Derek, please, just let us go to the appointment. The appointment? The one your mother scheduled without consulting me. The one I'm supposedly not invited to, even though I'm your husband and have every right to be involved in your medical care. You're not invited. Emily doesn't want you here. Derek's jaw clenched. I could make a scene right here, right now, in this parking lot. Is that what you want? I want you to leave us alone. That's not going to happen. Emily is my wife. My responsibility. I'm not going to stand by while you poison her against me. No one's poisoning her. She's making her own choices, is she? Are you, Emily? Or is your mother calling all the shots? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've traded one controlling relationship for another. Clever manipulation. Suggesting I was controlling Emily just like he had. Trying to make her doubt, question whether leaving him meant submitting to different authority. Mom's not controlling me, Emily said, voice stronger. She's helping me, helping you hide from your husband, helping you destroy our marriage. Some help. You destroyed our marriage when you broke my arm. The words hung in the air. Emily had said it, out loud, in public. An accusation. Derek's expression went cold. You fell on your mother's stairs. That's what happened. That's what you told the hospital. Or are you changing your story now? Emily's brief courage faltered. I know, I fell. But I what? Loved you, took care of you, worried about you. Yes, Emily, I did all those things. I still do. And this is how you repay me. With lies and accusations. They're not lies. Derek's attention snapped to me. Careful, Patricia. You're involving yourself in something you don't understand. Something that could have serious consequences for you. Are you threatening me? I'm warning you. Emily is fragile right now. Injured, confused. Last thing she needs is someone filling her head with paranoid fantasies about her husband. If you continue to interfere in our marriage, if you continue to keep her from me, I will take legal action. I'll sue for alienation of affection. I'll file for emergency custody of medical decisions. I'll make sure everyone knows you've been harboring my wife. preventing me from caring for her, creating hostile situation detrimental to her recovery. You can't. I can. I have money and resources, an excellent attorney. What do you have? Worn out carpet and retirement fund. You're rapidly depleting. Think very carefully about whether you want to go to war with me, Patricia, because you'll lose. He turned and walked to his car. We stood watching him drive away, both shaking. He means it, Emily said. He'll do everything he threatened, and more. Let him try. But I was scared. Derek had money, connections, appearance of respectability. I was 68, with limited resources. If this turned into legal battle, I would lose, and if I lost, Emily lost. The orthopedist appointment revealed Emily's fracture was healing well. Cast would stay on for more weeks, then physical therapy. Doctor noted facial bruising, asked how it happened. Emily stuck to Stair's story. Doctor looked skeptical but didn't push. Leaving, the receptionist flagged us down. Mrs. Harrison, there's note in your file. Your husband called this morning requesting we send all appointment notes and test results to him directly. He said he's managing your care coordination. Is that correct? Emily went pale. No, that's not correct. Don't send him anything, but he's your husband. He said he has medical power of attorney. He doesn't. I never signed anything giving him that. Receptionist looked confused. He was very insistent. Said it was critical for your recovery that he stay informed. I'll need to verify with our legal department before we can deny his request. Outside, Emily was shaking. He's trying to get access to my medical records. He wants to know what doctors I'm seeing, what I'm telling them, what they're documenting. If they send him the notes from today's visit, he'll see the doctor questioned the false story. He'll know we're lying. We'll call the office tomorrow. Make it clear you don't consent to sharing records with him. It won't matter. He'll find another way. He always finds another way. That night, Derek's texts became more aggressive. I know what you're doing. You think you can hide from me. I have resources you can't imagine. Every move you make, I'm watching. This ends when I say it ends. Emily showed me her phone with shaking hands. He's escalating. This is what happened before. When I tried to assert independence, when I pushed back even slightly, he'd escalate until I gave in. Except this time, I can't give in. This time, if I go back, he'll kill me. Then we make sure you don't go back. How? How do we do that? He has money, lawyers, connections. What do we have? We have the truth. We have your injuries documented at the hospital. We have Dr. Patel who heard you say I fell. We have a pattern of abuse you can testify to. We have me, willing to fight for you no matter what it costs. It's not enough. It's never enough in these cases. Women with more evidence than I have end up dead because their abusers find them. Mom, I'm terrified. Not just of Derek, of the whole system that protects men like him while women like me end up as statistics. I held her while she cried, feeling helpless and furious. My daughter was right. The system was designed to protect men like Derek, respectable, employed, articulate men who knew how to work the system. While women like Emily, traumatized and terrified, were dismissed as hysterical or vindictive or crazy. But I wasn't giving up. I'd spent 31 years protecting Emily. I'd given up everything once to raise her right. I'd give up everything again to save her life. The next morning, I called Jennifer the attorney and told her we were ready to move forward with divorce filing. Good, she said. That's the first step. I'll need Emily to come to our office to fill out paperwork and discuss strategy. Can she come tomorrow? Yes, but Jennifer, Derek's escalating, threatening texts, showing up places, trying to access her medical records. I'm worried about her safety. Document everything. Save every text, every voicemail. If he shows up somewhere Emily is, call police immediately. We need paper trails showing pattern of harassment. Eventually that becomes evidence for restraining order. How many incidents before we can get restraining order? In Minnesota, we need to show pattern of harassment or credible threat of violence, given Emily's hospital visit. If we can document continued harassment and her fear, we might be able to get emergency order of protection. But it's not guaranteed. Judges are often reluctant to issue orders based solely on victims' testimony without corroborating evidence, so we need him to do something worse before we can get protection. Unfortunately, that's often how it works. The system is reactive, not proactive. We protect victims after violence occurs, not before. That's insane. I agree, but it's reality we're working with. After the call, I made another list. Evidence we needed: Documentation of abuse pattern. Witness statements from people who'd seen Emily's injuries or Derek's controlling behavior. Financial records showing how he'd isolated her economically. Phone records showing harassment. Medical records from hospital visit. I called Sarah and asked if she'd be willing to write a statement about what Emily had told her about Derek's harassment when Emily stayed with her. She agreed immediately. I called Dr. Patel's office and requested copy of Emily's medical records from her ER visit, particularly documentation of what she'd said at entrance. They said they'd send records to Emily within 7 to 10 business days. I photographed every text Derek sent Emily, created a spreadsheet documenting dates, times, content of each message, noted escalation pattern, threats becoming more explicit. Emily watched me work with mixture of hope and despair. You really think this will be enough? It has
What's
to
the
be.
alternative?
The alternative is I disappear, change my name, move to different states, start over completely, cut ties with everyone, including you. Absolutely not. Emily, I'm not losing you. You might not have a choice. If Derek finds me, if he gets me alone, I won't survive. You know that. I know that. Maybe disappearing is the only real option. Disappearing is expensive. You need new identity, new social security number, new life. That takes money and connections we don't have. Then what? We file for divorce and hope Derek doesn't kill me before it's finalized. Hope the police take his threats seriously. Hope a judge believes me over him. Mom, hope isn't a strategy. She was right. Hope wasn't enough. We needed concrete plan. Something that would actually keep Emily safe, not just make us feel like we were doing something. I stayed up that night researching domestic violence shelters in Minnesota, witness protection programs, legal mechanisms for emergency protection orders, success rates for restraining orders, statistics on domestic violence homicides. The statistics were grim. In Minnesota, intimate partner violence accounted for 21% of all homicides. 73% of those victims were women killed by current or former partners. Average time from separation to homicide was 3 months. 3 months. We had 3 months to get Emily divorced, protected, and safe before the statistical probability of her death peaked. I found information about a domestic violence organization called Haven House that operated safe houses for abuse victims, called their 24-hour hotline at 2 in the morning. Woman who answered was named Michelle.com. Professional, compassionate. I explained Emily's situation. The beating, the hospital visit, Derek's escalation since she left. Your daughter needs to come to one of our safe houses, Michelle said. We have locations throughout Minnesota that are kept confidential. Even family members don't know addresses. She'd be safe there while she files for divorce and builds her case. How long could she stay? Typically, 30 to 90 days. We provide housing, counseling, legal advocacy, help with job placement, and financial independence. Our goal is to help women transition from crisis to stability. What if Derek finds the location? That's extremely rare. We have strict security protocols. No one gives out addresses. No visitors without approval. We work closely with police. If an abuser does locate one of our facilities, we have emergency protocols for relocating residents. What does it cost? Our services are free. We're funded by state grants and private donations. Money should never be barrier to safety. Professional support. Free. Safe housing. Derek couldn't find this could work. How soon could Emily come? We have opening now. She could come as early as tomorrow. But Mrs. Morrison, I need you to understand something. This only works if your daughter is truly ready to leave. If she's still ambivalent, if part of her wants to go back to him, safe house won't help. She has to be committed to leaving permanently. She is. She knows if she goes back, he'll kill her. Then have her call this number tomorrow. We'll do intake, interview, and arrange transport to facility. And Mrs. Morrison, you're doing the right thing. Supporting her, believing her, fighting for her. That's what saves lives. After the call, I went to Emily's room. She was awake, staring at ceiling. I found something, I said. Safe house for domestic violence victims. Free housing, counseling, legal help. They have opening now. You could go tomorrow. Emily sat up slowly. A shelter, safe house, confidential location Derek can't find. They'd help you file for divorce, build your case, get back on your feet. For how long? 30 to 90 days. And after that, you'd have divorce in process, restraining order hopefully, job prospects, Plan for independence. After that, you'd have a life. Emily was quiet for a long time. Then, what about you? If I go to safe house, Derek will blame you for helping me leave. He'll come after you. Let him. I can take care of myself. Mom, he threatened you. Said your stairs were dangerous. He's planning something. If I leave and you're here alone, you're vulnerable. I'm 68 years old. I've been taking care of myself for 31 years. I'll be fine. Promise me you'll be careful. Promise me you'll change your routine. Check your car, not walk alone after dark. Promise me you won't open the door if he shows up. I promise. I'm serious, Mom. Derek is dangerous. More dangerous than you realize. He's not just angry husband. He's calculating, methodical. He plans things. If he decides you're the obstacle to getting me back, he'll remove you. And he'll make it look like accident. Her words chilled me, but I tried to sound confident. Then we'll be smarter than him. We'll document everything. Create paper trail. Make it impossible for him to hurt either of us without consequences. The next morning, Emily called Haven House, spoke with Michelle for 30 minutes, answering questions about her situation, her safety concerns, her readiness to leave. When she hung up, she looked exhausted but determined. They're sending someone to pick me up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. They wouldn't tell me where the facility is. Said I can't bring my phone because Derek might be tracking it. I can't contact anyone except through their secure line for first 2 weeks. After that, limited supervised contact with approved people. 2 weeks without talking to you. It's for safety. If Derek can't find me through you, can't pressure you into revealing where I am, we're both safer. Mom, this is really happening. I'm really leaving him. Yes, you are. We spent the morning packing essentials into one suitcase. Clothes, toiletries, copies of important documents. Emily's hands shook the whole time. Around noon, Derek started calling my phone. I didn't answer. He left 3 voicemails. First, Patricia, I need to speak with Emily. It's important. Have her call me immediately. Second, I know she's still with you. Stop interfering in our marriage. This is your last warning. Third, fine. You want to play games. We'll play games. But you're not going to like how this ends. I saved all 3 messages, added them to the documentation spreadsheet. Emily was standing by the window watching for the Haven House transport. She looked terrified and brave and young. My daughter who'd survived 4 years of systematic abuse. My daughter who was finally choosing herself over the man destroying her. Mom, she said without turning from the window. Thank you for believing me, for fighting for me, for not giving up on me even when I'd given up on myself. I'll never give up on you. You're my daughter. My whole heart. I love you. I love you too, baby. At exactly 2 o'clock, a dark blue sedan pulled into the parking lot. Woman in her 40s got out, looked around carefully, then walked to my building. I buzzed her up. Her name was Rachel. She worked for Haven House, had been doing victim transport for 6 years. She checked Emily's identification, verified the intake information, explained what would happen next. We'll take indirect route to facility. I'll need your phone, Emily. We'll hold it for you, return it when you leave or give you a new phone if needed. Once we arrive, you'll meet with counselor, get oriented to house rules, meet other residents. Everything is confidential. You'll be safe. Emily handed over her phone like she was severing last connection to her old life. In a way, she was. Rachel picked up Emily's suitcase. Ready. Emily looked at me. I hugged her carefully, mindful of her healing arm. You've got this. You're stronger than you know. What if I'm not? What if I can't do this? You can, and you will. And I'll be here when you come out the other side. I watched from the window as Rachel's car pulled away, watched until it disappeared around corner. Then I sat down on my couch and cried. Not because I was sad, because I was relieved. For first time in 2 weeks, I knew Emily was safe. Derek couldn't find her, couldn't hurt her, couldn't manipulate her into coming back. She was safe. Now I just had to make sure I stayed safe too. Derek called again at 4 o'clock. This time, I answered. Where is she? He demanded without preamble. I don't know. Bullshit. Emily wouldn't leave without telling you. Where did you send her? I didn't send her anywhere. She made her own choice about where to go. Patricia, I'm warning you one last time. Tell me where my wife is, or there will be consequences. Are you threatening me, Derek? I'm promising you. You've interfered in my marriage for the last time. You've turned my wife against me, filled her head with lies, destroyed what we had. There will be consequences for that. Emily left because you beat her so badly, she ended up in hospital. That's not my fault. That's yours. Silence. Then, his voice cold and controlled. She fell on your stairs. That's what happened. That's what the hospital records say. That's what Emily told the doctors. If you start changing that story now, if you start making accusations, I'll sue you for slander. I'll ruin you financially. I'll make sure everyone knows you're a bitter old woman who couldn't stand to see her daughter happy. I'm not afraid of you. You should be, because I have resources you can't imagine. Lawyers, investigators, connections. I can make your life very difficult, Patricia. Or, you can be smart. Tell me where Emily is. Let me talk to her. Let me fix my marriage. And we can all move on. Go to hell, Derek. I hung up on him. My hands were shaking, but I felt exhilarated. I'd never spoken to Derek like that before. Never challenged him directly. Never told him exactly what I thought of him. It felt good. Terrifying, but good. That night, I barely slept. Every sound in the hallway made me jump. Every car in the parking lot might be Derek's BMW. I kept my phone next to my bed. Jennifer's number and 911, both on speed dial. I got up 3 times to check that my door was locked, the chain engaged. Around 3 in the morning, I heard footsteps on the stairs outside my apartment. Slow, deliberate. They stopped outside my door. I held my breath, watching the shadow of feet visible under the door, waiting for a knock, for the doorknob to turn, for something. The footsteps continued down the hall. Just another resident coming home late, but my heart pounded for an hour afterward. The next 2 weeks were the longest of my life. No contact with Emily except one brief call from Haven House, letting me know she'd arrived safely. Derek called repeatedly, left threatening voicemails, sent texts that escalated from angry to pleading to threatening again. I documented everything but didn't respond. He showed up at my apartment 4 times. I didn't answer the door. He'd stand in the hallway for 10, 15 minutes, knocking, calling my name, eventually leaving. Once he slipped a note under my door. Patricia, please. I just want to talk. I love Emily. I miss her. Help me understand what I did wrong. Help me fix this. I photographed the note, added it to my documentation file, threw it away. He started showing up at my workplace. My supervisor called me into her office on day 10. Patricia, there's a man who's been coming by asking for you. Says he's your sister-in-law. He seems very concerned about you. Says you're not returning his calls. He's worried about your health. Is everything all right? Everything's fine. He's going through a difficult time with my daughter. I'd prefer if you didn't tell him anything about my schedule or when I'm here. She looked concerned. Is there something I should know about? Some safety issue? Just a family matter? But yes, please, don't give him any information. Of course. Patricia, if you need anything, time off, security escort to your car, anything, please let me know. Derek started leaving flowers at my door. Beautiful, expensive arrangements with cards that said things like missing Emily. Hope she's well. Please ask her to call me. And I know I made mistakes. I just want a chance to apologize. He was creating narrative. Concerned husband missing his wife. Caring son-in-law worried about family. If anything happened to me, these flowers, these notes, these concerned visits to my workplace would all support his story. He'd tried to reach out. He'd been nothing but worried and appropriate. Any accusation I made against him would seem vindictive. On day 15, I got a call from Haven House. Emily was ready for limited phone contact. I could call her through their secure line at designated times. The counselor warned me not to discuss anything Derek might overhear if he was somehow monitoring my phone, not to reveal any details about the facility location, to keep conversations brief. I called at the appointed time, 6 o'clock on a Thursday evening. Emily answered on the second ring. Mom, hi, baby, how are you? I'm okay, better, the counseling is helping. There are 6 other women here, all with similar stories. It helps to talk to people who understand. Her voice sounded stronger than I'd heard it in years. How are you? Is Derek still bothering you? He's persistent, but I'm managing. Don't worry about me. Mom, I am worried. The counselor here says the most dangerous time is right after victim leaves, especially if the abuser blames someone else for the separation. Derek blames you. That makes you a target. I'm being careful, documenting everything. I talked to Jennifer about filing restraining order against Derek on my own behalf, based on his harassment. Did she think you could get one? She said, it's possible, especially with all the documentation I have. text messages, voicemails, showing up at my home and work, pattern of harassment. Good mom, I need to tell you something. I filed for divorce yesterday. Haven House connected me with a lawyer. We submitted the paperwork to Hennepin County Court. Derek will be served in the next few days. My heart jumped. That's huge. How do you feel? Terrified, but also relieved. It's done. I can't take it back. I'm really leaving him. You're really leaving him. I'm so proud of you. The lawyer said Derek will fight it. He'll probably try to claim I'm mentally incompetent due to the concussion. He'll say I'm being manipulated by you or the shelter. He'll make it as ugly as possible. Let him try. We have documentation. Hospital records. Patel's notes. Doctor. Pattern of abuse. He can't hide what he did anymore. I hope you're right. Mom, I have to go. Group sessions starting soon, but I love you, and thank you for everything. I love you too, baby. Stay safe. 3 days later, on a Monday morning, Derek was served with divorce papers at his workplace. I know because he called me at 11:15 screaming into the phone. What the fuck did you do? Where is she? How did you convince her to file for divorce? I didn't convince her of anything. Emily made her own choice. Bullshit. She would never do this on her own. You poisoned her against me. You and whatever brainwashing shelter you sent her to. Derek, calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. You've destroyed my marriage. You've taken my wife from me. You've ruined everything. You ruined everything when you put Emily in the hospital. She fell on your goddamn stairs. That's the only reason she was in the hospital. But you've twisted that into some abuse narrative, haven't you? Convinced her I'm some kind of monster when all I ever did was love her. If you loved her, you wouldn't have broken her arm. You wouldn't have hit her so hard her eyes swelled shut. You wouldn't have. I never touched her. She fell. And now you're going to pay for these lies. Patricia, I'm going to sue you for everything you have. Slander, alienation of affection, intentional infliction of emotional distress. When I'm done with you, you'll wish you'd never interfered in my marriage. Sue me, I dare you. Because discovery in a lawsuit means all your dirty secrets come out. Emily will testify. Dr. Patel will testify about what she said at the hospital entrance. Every piece of evidence we've been collecting will become part of public record. Is that really what you want? Silence. I could hear him breathing hard. This isn't over, he finally said. Tell Emily this isn't over. Tell her she can't hide forever. Tell her I'll find her. And when I do, we're going to have a very serious conversation about what she's done. Stay away from Emily. Stay away from me. Or what you'll call the police. Tell them I'm harassing you. They'll laugh at you. Patricia, a concerned husband trying to find his wife, a worried son-in-law checking on his elderly mother. There's nothing illegal about that. The restraining order I'm filing tomorrow says otherwise. Another silence. You're filing for a restraining order against you, based on pattern of harassment, text messages, voicemails, showing up at my home and workplace repeatedly despite being told to stop, threatening language. My attorney says we have strong case. Your attorney? He laughed, bitter. You can't afford an attorney. You're a retired paralegal living in a shitty apartment with worn-out carpet. What attorney is representing you? Legal aid, free services for people being harassed by abusive assholes. This is unbelievable. You know what? Fine. File your restraining order. Waste everyone's time. But when Emily comes crawling back to me, because she will, I want you to remember this conversation. I want you to remember that you could have handled this quietly, privately. Instead, you chose war. And in war, Patricia, people get hurt. He hung up. I sat staring at my phone, heart racing. That was a direct threat. In war, people get hurt. I called Jennifer immediately, told her about the conversation. Did you record it? She asked. No, I didn't think to. Verbal threats are hard to prove without recording, but add it to your documentation. Note the date, time, what he said, every detail you remember. It all builds the case. He said he's going to sue me. Slander, alienation of affection, emotional distress. Let him try. Those are notoriously difficult cases to win, especially when the underlying facts support abuse allegations. He's bluffing, trying to intimidate you. Don't let him. What if he's not bluffing? Then we fight. But Patricia, I need you to be realistic about something. Getting a restraining order against Derek is going to escalate this situation significantly. Right now he's angry and making threats. Once he's served with a restraining order, Once there's official court documentation that you've accused him of harassment, he's going to be furious. The next few weeks are going to be the most dangerous, more dangerous than now. Yes, statistics show that violence often escalates when abusers face legal consequences. They feel backed into corner, lose control of narrative. That's when they lash out. So what do I do? Just let him keep harassing me? No. You file for protection. But you also take serious precautions. Vary your routine. Don't go anywhere alone after dark. Install security cameras if possible. Consider staying somewhere else temporarily. Have police on speed dial. Basically, assume Derek is planning something and prepare accordingly. I spent the rest of that day installing a security camera, one ordered from Amazon that arrived in 2 days. Small device that pointed at my apartment door, connected to my phone, recorded motion activated
It wasn't much,
video, but it was something. I also called Mrs. Chen and asked about changing the locks on my apartment door. She said it was against lease terms unless I had documentation of safety threat. I told her about Derek's harassment, showed her the texts and voicemails. She agreed to install a new deadbolt at no charge. I called my supervisor and explained that I was dealing with a family situation that might result in my son-in-law showing up at work again. Asked if there was security protocol for that. She assigned me a parking spot near the entrance with camera coverage and gave me direct number for building security. I was preparing for war, just like Derek said. The restraining order hearing was scheduled for the following Thursday. Jennifer filed emergency motion based on Derek's escalating harassment. I spent 3 days preparing testimony, organizing documentation, practicing answers to questions the judge might ask. Wednesday night, the night before the hearing, I couldn't sleep. Kept running through everything in my mind. What if the judge didn't believe me? What if Derek was more convincing? What if I forgot some crucial detail? Around 2 a.m, my phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Tell Emily, I know where she is. Haven House on Lyndale Avenue. The brick building with blue door. Tell her, I'm coming for her. Tell her, she can't hide from me. My blood turned to ice. I called Jennifer immediately, woke her up. He found her. Derek found the safe house. He just texted me the address. We have to warn them. We have to get Emily out of there. Slow down. Send me the screenshot of the text. All contact Haven House emergency line. They have protocols for this. I sent the screenshot, then called Haven House myself. Emergency operator answered, took down the information, said they'd implement lockdown procedure and contact police. Said all residents would be moved to alternate location within the hour as precaution. Is Emily safe? I asked. All our residents will be safe. We take these threats very seriously. Please don't try to contact Emily directly. We'll have her call you from secure location once she's settled. I spent the rest of the night pacing my apartment, checking my security camera feed every 5 minutes, jumping at every sound. Derek had found her. After 2 weeks of searching, somehow he'd located the safe house, which meant nowhere was safe. He had resources I couldn't match. Investigators, technology, determination. Emily called at 6 a.m. from new location. Mom, I'm okay. They moved all of us. We're somewhere Derek doesn't know about. But Mom, I'm scared. How did he find the first place? What if he finds this one too? I don't know, baby. But they're being extra careful now. Extra security is enough against Derek. It's not enough. He's obsessed. He won't stop until he gets me back, or she stopped, or what? Or one of us is dead. The restraining order hearing was at 10 o'clock Thursday morning. I arrived at Hennepin County Courthouse at 9:30, met Jennifer in the lobby. She'd added Derek's threatening text about finding the safe house to our evidence file. This actually helps our case, she said. Shows he's actively trying to locate Emily despite her clearly wanting no contact. Shows he's monitoring situations, gathering information, making threats. Judge won't like this. We went through security, took elevator to 4th floor family court. Derek was already there with his attorney. Expensive suit, expensive leather briefcase. His lawyer looked like he cost more per hour than I made in a week. Derek saw me and smiled. Not a friendly smile, a knowing smile. Like we were playing a game and he was winning. The hearing was brief. Jennifer presented our evidence, documented harassment pattern, text messages, voicemails, showing up at my home and work, the threatening phone call after he was served with divorce papers, the text revealing he'd located the safe house. Derek's attorney argued his client was simply a concerned husband trying to locate his wife who'd disappeared without explanation. said Derek's attempts to contact me were reasonable efforts to get information about Emily's well-being. Said the text about Haven House was simply Derek sharing information, not making a threat. Your Honor, Derek's attorney said, my client loves his wife. He's worried about her. She left their home after suffering a concussion in a fall, has been making erratic decisions, filing for divorce without any real grounds. Mr. Harrison has every right to try to communicate with his wife. If Mrs. Morrison interprets that as harassment, that's her misperception, not my client's intent. The judge, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes, looked skeptical. Counselor, your client texted Mrs. Morrison that he knows where Emily is and he's coming for her. That sounds like a threat to me. It was poorly worded expression of his desire to reunite with his wife, Your Honor, not a threat of violence. Right. And the part where he told Mrs. Morrison in war, people get hurt, also poorly worded. Emotional statement made in the heat of the moment when Mr. Harrison learned his wife had filed for divorce, not a credible threat. Judge looked at me. Mrs. Morrison, are you afraid of Derek Harrison? Yes, Your Honor. I believe he's dangerous. I believe he abused my daughter for years. I believe he's capable of violence against anyone he sees as obstacle to getting her back. Do you have evidence of this alleged abuse? Emily has medical records from her hospital visit. Injuries consistent with assault, not a fall. Doctor's notes indicating she whispered say, I fell before losing consciousness. Pattern of controlling behavior documented over 4 years of marriage. Why didn't Emily file for the restraining order herself? She did, Your Honor. Against Mr. Harrison. That hearing is scheduled for next week. I'm filing separately based on his harassment of me. Judge reviewed the documents in front of her for several minutes. Finally, she looked up. I'm granting a temporary restraining order for 14 days. Mr. Harrison, you are not to contact Mrs. Morrison directly or indirectly. No phone calls, texts, emails, social media contact, third-party contact. You are not to go to her residence or workplace. You are to stay at least 300 feet away from her at all times. Violation of this order will result in immediate arrest. Do you understand? Derek stood. Your Honor, I understand. But I want to be clear that I have never threatened Mrs. Morrison. I have never intended her any harm. I simply want to communicate with my wife. Then communicate through the proper legal channels in your divorce proceeding. Stay away from Mrs. Morrison. We'll have a full hearing in 14 days to determine if this order should be extended. Court adjourned. Outside the courtroom, Derek and his attorney walked past us. Derek leaned in close as he passed, whispered so only I could hear, 14 days, then we'll see. Meanwhile, give Emily my love. Jennifer grabbed my arm. Don't respond. Just let him go. We watched them disappear down the hallway. He's not going to stop, I said. I know, but now, if he contacts you again, he'll be arrested. That's something. He'll
Through
just
Emily's
find other
friends,
ways.
through Sarah,
Through other
he's
people.
already
Proven he can find information he's not supposed to have. We'll deal with each situation as it comes. Right now, you have legal protection. Use it. If he violates the order even once, call police immediately. I went home feeling simultaneously relieved and terrified. I had a restraining order, legal protection on paper. But paper didn't stop bullets. Paper didn't stop someone determined to hurt you. That night, I got a friend request on Facebook from someone named Patricia's friend. No profile picture. No mutual friends. Account created that day. I didn't accept it but checked the profile. Empty except for one post, made public. Some people should mind their own business. Some people should remember that actions have consequences. Some people should watch their backs. I screenshotted it, sent it to Jennifer. She said, it was probably Derek using fake account but hard to prove. File a police report anyway, she said. Start establishing pattern of restraining order violations. I filed the report online. Officer called me back an hour later, took my statement, said they'd investigate but without proof. Derek created the account. There wasn't much they could do. Advised me to increase my privacy settings, block unknown accounts, continue documenting. Emily's restraining order hearing was the following Tuesday. She had to appear in person, which meant leaving the safe house temporarily. Haven House arranged secure transport. I met her at the courthouse. She looked better than when I'd last seen her, stronger, like the past 3 weeks away from Derek had allowed her to remember who she was before he'd broken her down. How are you? I asked, hugging her carefully. Nervous. What if Derek's there? What if he tries to talk to me? He probably will be there. But you don't have to speak to him. Just stay near me and your attorney. Let them handle him. Derek was there, of course he was, sitting with his lawyer, looking heartbroken and confused. When Emily walked in, his whole face lit up. Emily, he called out, "Babe, please, can we just talk?" Emily's attorney stepped between them. "Mr. Harrison, you need to stay back. Your client, too," she said to Derek's lawyer. "I just want to talk to my wife. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. No contact, Mr. Harrison." That's what these proceedings are about. The hearing followed similar pattern to mine. Emily's attorney presented evidence of abuse, hospital records, Dr. Patel's statement about what Emily said at the ER entrance, Emily's own testimony about 4 years of escalating violence and control. Derek's attorney painted Emily as confused, traumatized from her concussion, being manipulated by her mother and the shelter. Said Derek was a loving husband, worried about his wife's mental state. "Your Honor," Derek's attorney said, "Mrs. Harrison suffered a serious head injury. She's been making erratic decisions since then, filing for divorce after 4 years of happy marriage, refusing contact with her husband, living in a domestic violence shelter despite no evidence of abuse. This is clearly someone who is not thinking rationally." Emily's attorney stood. "Your Honor, Mrs. Harrison suffered that head injury because her husband beat her. Doctor's notes indicate injuries inconsistent with a fall, defensive wounds on her arms, multiple facial contusions, fractured arm. This was assault, not an accident." "Can you prove that?" the judge asked. "We have Mrs. Harrison's testimony. We have medical evidence supporting assault theory. We have pattern of controlling and abusive behavior documented over 4 years. But no police report from the incident. No witnesses. Just Mrs. Harrison's word against her husband's. Sometimes that's all victims have, Your Honor. Abuse happens behind closed doors. Abusers are careful not to have witnesses. But that doesn't make it less real or less dangerous." The judge looked at Emily. "Mrs. Harrison, are you afraid of your husband?" Emily stood. Her voice shook, but she spoke clearly. "Yes, Your Honor. I'm terrified of him. He broke my arm. He hit me so hard I couldn't see out of my left eye for a week. He told me that if I ever tried to leave him, he'd find me and make me sorry. He found the safe house where I was staying. He's obsessed with controlling me. If you don't grant this restraining order, if you make me go back to him, or even have contact with him, I genuinely believe he will kill me." Tears were streaming down her face. "I know what you're thinking, that I seem dramatic, that I'm exaggerating. That's what everyone thinks about abuse victims until they end up dead. Please, Your Honor, please don't make me be another statistic. Please protect me from him." The courtroom was silent. The judge studied Emily for a long moment. "I'm granting a temporary restraining order for 30 days. Mr. Harrison, you are not to contact Emily Harrison directly or indirectly through any means. You are not to go to her place of residence, which the court understands to be confidential. You are to stay at least 500 feet away from her at all times. You are not to possess firearms. We'll have a full hearing in 30 days to determine if this should be extended to a year. Do you understand?" Derek stood slowly. "Your Honor, I understand the order, but I want to say for the record that I love my wife. I have never hurt her. I would never hurt her. Whatever she believes happened, it's a misunderstanding based on her head injury. When she recovers, when she thinks clearly again, she realized that, and I'll be here waiting for her. Because that's what love is. Waiting for someone even when they push you away. It was a perfect performance. Loving, patient husband dealing with mentally unstable wife. If I hadn't known the truth, I might have believed him." The judge didn't look impressed. "Mr. Harrison, if you love your wife, you'll respect her wishes and stay away from her." Court adjourned. Outside, Emily collapsed against me. "He's never going to stop. You saw him in there. He actually believes his own lies. He thinks I'm the one who's sick, who needs help. He has no concept that he's the problem. It doesn't matter what he believes. You have a restraining order, legal protection, for 30 days. Then another hearing, where he'll try again to convince everyone I'm crazy. And eventually some judge will believe him because he's so convincing and I'm so broken. You're not broken. You're surviving. There's a difference." Over the next 3 weeks, Derek didn't violate either restraining order directly. But strange things started happening. My car had a flat tire 3 times in 2 weeks. Each time, the mechanic said it looked like someone had deliberately punctured it. But no witnesses, no proof. Someone threw a brick through my apartment window at 3 in the morning. Note attached. Stop interfering. Police took a report, but said without witnesses or evidence linking Derek, they couldn't make an arrest. Could be kids, vandalism, random act. I knew it wasn't random, but proving it was different story. Sarah called me, said someone had been following her. Dark car, always keeping distance, but definitely following. She'd noticed it 3 times in 1 week. She was scared. I told her to file police report, document everything. Emily's friends started getting messages from fake social media accounts. Messages saying Emily was mentally ill, had been brainwashed by her mother, needed help, asking them to convince Emily to talk to Derek, to give him a chance to explain. Derek was waging psychological warfare, staying just within bounds of legal while making all our lives miserable, making us afraid, making us question whether we were safe. The 14-day hearing for my restraining order came. Judge extended it to 1 year based on the continued harassment pattern, even though we couldn't definitively prove Derek was behind it. Better safe than sorry, the judge said. Emily's 30-day hearing followed. Based on the escalating situation, her order was also extended to 1 year. Derek's attorney argued. Derek himself gave another performance about loving his confused wife. Judge wasn't swayed, but I could see in Derek's eyes as we left the courtroom that this wasn't over. This was just beginning. 3 months after Emily left, the divorce was still pending. Derek was contesting everything, fighting over assets even though they had minimal shared property, requesting psychiatric evaluation of Emily to prove she was mentally incompetent, demanding Emily return home for marital counseling before divorce could proceed. His attorney filed motion after motion, all designed to delay, to drain resources, to exhaust Emily into giving up. But Emily
She'd
didn't
moved
give
out of
up. The safe house after 60 days into a transitional apartment Haven House helped her secure. She'd gotten a job doing graphic design for a small firm downtown. She was building a life, slowly, carefully, but building it. I was proud of her, terrified for her, but proud. Derek, meanwhile, was becoming unhinged. His social media filled with cryptic posts about betrayal, about loyalty, about how some people would regret their choices. His friends told mutual acquaintances that he was struggling, drinking heavily, obsessed with getting Emily back, which made him more dangerous, not less. On a Tuesday in November, 3 months and 2 weeks after Emily left, I was leaving work late. Darkness had fallen early, the sun setting before 5 o'clock. Now that winter approached, I walked to my car in the parking lot, checking my surroundings like Jennifer had taught me, checking the back seat before getting in. Someone had slashed all 4 tires, and written in the dust on my windshield, "Time's up." I called police, filed another report. They said they'd check security cameras, but the parking lot had blind spots, might not catch anything. I called Jennifer. She said this was escalation, clear threat. We should consider filing for emergency order of protection enhancement, maybe requesting Derek be required to wear GPS monitor. I called Emily, told her what happened. She went silent for a long moment. She finally said, "I think you should leave Minnesota. Go somewhere Derek can't find you. Stay with a friend out of state, at least until the divorce is finalized. I'm not leaving you. I'm safe. I have security at my building. Police know the situation, but you're exposed. You're the one Derek is targeting now. Please, Mom, please consider leaving. We're not letting him win. It's not about winning. It's about surviving." I didn't leave. Instead, I installed more security cameras, started parking in different locations each day, varied my routine, carried pepper spray, basically lived like someone being hunted. Because I was. On December 1st, the divorce was finalized. Judge granted it over Derek's objections. Emily was free, legally, officially free. I thought Derek might give up then, move on, except that Emily was gone. I was wrong. 2 days after the divorce was finalized, I was walking to my car from the grocery store, arms full of bags, distracted by my phone. Didn't notice the car pulling up alongside me until it was too late. Derek got out. He looked terrible, unshaven, disheveled, eyes wild. "This is your fault," he said. "All of this. You destroyed my marriage. You took Emily from me. You ruined everything." I backed away, dropping my groceries, reaching for my phone. "Stay away from me. You're violating the restraining order." "I don't care about the restraining order. I don't care about any of it anymore. You want to know what happens when you destroy someone's life, Patricia, you find out." He moved toward me. I screamed, Someone in the parking lot heard, started running toward us. Derek saw them coming, hesitated, then got back in his car and drove away. I was shaking so hard I could barely dial 911. Police came, took my statement, put out alert for Derek's car, found him 2 hours later at a bar, drunk, arrested him for violating restraining order. He spent one night in jail, was released the next morning on bail. His attorney argued he was distraught over his divorce, not thinking clearly, deeply apologetic. Judge ordered him to stay away from me, added requirement for alcohol monitoring, released him. Emily called me from a blocked number that night. Mom, you have to leave. Now. Derek is spiraling. When he gets desperate enough, jail time won't matter to him. Restraining orders won't matter. All that will matter is making someone pay for what he's lost. And you're the target. Where would I go? I don't know. Anywhere. Somewhere Derek doesn't know about. Mom, please. I can't lose you too. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Running, hiding, letting Derek chase me out of my own life. It felt like defeat. But Emily was right. Derek had nothing left to lose now. His marriage was over. His reputation was damaged from the restraining order violations and arrests. His obsession with revenge was all he had left. And obsessed people do dangerous things. I called my supervisor the next morning, requested immediate leave of absence, family emergency, indefinite timeline. She approved it without hesitation, told me to stay safe. I called my friend Margaret, who lived in Arizona. We'd worked together years ago, kept in touch through Christmas cards and occasional phone calls. I explained the situation, asked if I could stay with her for a while. She said yes immediately. Said I could stay as long as I needed. I packed 2 suitcases, left everything else, called Jennifer, told her I was leaving state temporarily for safety. She said it was smart decision. Gave me contact information for domestic violence resources in Arizona in case I needed them. I called Emily from the airport, told her I was going to Arizona, staying with Margaret. I'd be safe there. Thank you, she said, crying. Thank you for protecting yourself. I couldn't handle it if something happened to you because of me. This isn't because of you. It's because of Derek. Remember that. I'd been in Arizona for 2 weeks when Jennifer called. Patricia, I have news. Derek was arrested again last night. He showed up at Emily's apartment building with a gun. Building security called police. He's being charged with stalking, weapons violation, violation of protective order. Judge denied bail this time. He's being held pending psychiatric evaluation. Oh my God. Is Emily okay? She's fine. Shaken but fine. She wasn't home when it happened. Security footage shows Derek sitting in the lobby for 3 hours, waiting for her before police arrived. He told them he just wanted to talk to her. Had the gun for protection, he said. From who? Police asked. From everyone trying to keep him from his wife, he said. He's completely lost it. Yes, which works in our favor legally. Psychiatric evaluation will likely show he's a danger to himself and others. Could result in involuntary commitment. At minimum, it means he'll be off the streets for a while. Derek was held in psychiatric facility for 30 days, diagnosed with obsessive disorder and depression, put on medication, required to attend therapy, released with strict conditions including continued GPS monitoring, no contact with Emily or me, regular check-ins with probation officer. I stayed in Arizona for 3 months, until Derek's trial for the stalking and weapons charges. I flew back to testify, told the court about the 4 years of escalation, the harassment, the threats, the slashed tires and broken window, and terrifying confrontation in the parking lot. Emily testified to, told the whole story. The abuse, the beating that put her in the hospital, the years of fear and control. Dr. Patel testified about what Emily said at the ER entrance. Sarah testified about Derek's harassment when Emily stayed with her. Derek's attorney tried to paint us all as vindictive women conspiring against an innocent man, but there was too much evidence, too much documentation, too much corroboration. The jury found him guilty on all charges. Judge sentenced him to 4 years in prison. With time served and good behavior, he'd likely be out in 2.5 years. But it was something. It was time for Emily to build a life without looking over her shoulder. Time for me to go home. Emily and I sat in the courtroom as Derek was led away in handcuffs. He looked at us one last time. I expected rage, hatred. Instead, he looked broken, lost, like he still couldn't understand how loving his wife had led him to this moment. But that was the thing about abusers. They never understood. They never took responsibility. It was always someone else's fault. Always the victim's fault for leaving, for telling, for not trying hard enough to make it work. It's over, Emily whispered. It's really over. For now, I said. But when he gets out, I'll be ready. I'll have a life he can't touch, friends he doesn't know, job he can't find, apartment in a different city. I'll be stronger than I am now, strong enough to protect myself. I believed her. Watching my daughter sit up straight, chin raised, eyes clear, I believed her. She wasn't the broken, terrified woman who'd whispered say I fell at the hospital entrance anymore. She was a survivor, a fighter, someone who'd walked through hell and came out the other side. We left the courthouse together. Outside, the November air was cold and clean. Emily linked her arm through mine. Thank you, Mom, for believing me, for fighting for me, for giving up everything to save me. I'd do it again, I said, 1,000 times over. And I would, because that's what mothers do. We sacrifice, we protect, we fight, we give up everything for our children. I'd given up my retirement savings, my sense of safety, 3 months of my life hiding in Arizona, but I'd gained something more valuable. I'd gained my daughter's life, and watching Emily walk into the sunlight, free for the first time in 4 years, I knew every sacrifice had been worth it. 6 months later, Emily had a new life in a small town Derek would never find. New name, new job, new apartment with security. She was dating someone kind who knew her story and respected her boundaries. She smiled again, really smiled. I'd returned to my Minnetonka apartment, replaced the broken window, installed new carpet, went back to work part-time at the law firm, started volunteering at Haven House, helping other women escape situations like Emily's. My retirement savings were gone. My sense of safety had been shattered. I'd aged 10 years in 4 months. But I'd saved my daughter's life. That's what Dr. Patel told me when I ran into him at a coffee shop downtown. You saved her, Patricia. Most families don't believe victims. Most mothers choose denial over action. You chose to fight. That's why Emily's alive. I just did what any mother would do. No, he said firmly. You did what every mother should do, but most don't. You believed her. You protected her. You gave up everything to save her. That's not common. That's extraordinary. I thought about that as I drove home through Minneapolis streets I'd driven 1,000 times. Thought about the night Emily collapsed at the ER entrance, whispering say I fell. Thought about how close I'd come to losing her. Thought about all the women who whispered those same words, who went home to their abusers, who never made it out alive. Emily wasn't a statistic. She was a survivor. And I was the mother who'd made sure she survived. That was enough. That would always be enough.